Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of BusinessMiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 48. Use your highly sensitive traits to create peaceful productivity and prosperity. Listen in as I share some important insights I see are needed for us highly sensitive entrepreneurs now more than ever, and the changes I'll personally be making to my business this year as a result.
Hello, welcome, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the January 2019 Business Miracles teleclass for highly sensitive entrepreneurs. Do it differently. Yay! Let's all take a deep breath in and let it out. Beautiful. I am Heather Dominick, founder and leader of the Highly Sensitive Entrepreneur Movement since 2010, and I am so very glad that you are here. Be sure you have pen and paper to take notes. This is going to be a most powerful and important call at a most powerful and important time of the year and in history. Again, let's take a deep breath in and let it out. Now more than ever, highly sensitive entrepreneurs are needed. We are needed in the world from a place of strength rather than shadow. As this new year begins, we might all take a moment to remember something that Brené Brown, researcher and author, found in her research on compassion. In one study, she said, researchers found a group of amazingly compassionate people, a group so kind and loving that they made Mother Teresa look distant and cold. And what other trait did these ultra-compassionate people share? They had the ability to hold strong boundaries. As highly sensitive entrepreneurs, most of us were not taught how to set our boundaries. In fact, most of us were socialized not to set boundaries, and I want you to write that down. According to the Bowen family dynamic system theory, within every group there is a designated absorber, the person who takes on the anxiety for the group, and the first group within which we learn how to handle anxiety is our family of origin, and I want you to write that down. Now, the Bowen family theory research doesn't extend to include how many absorbers are also highly sensitive, but this is casual research that I started myself at our Business Miracles Fall 2018 training retreat, and out of the 80-plus highly sensitive entrepreneurs in the room, the majority of them could identify with being the absorber. It's time to learn how to do it differently. Write that down. Anyone who knows me knows I deliver high-value teaching right up until the very end. This class will be about 45 minutes, and then I will open up for 30 minutes of Q&A. So if at any time you have a question about anything you are hearing, be sure to write it down so you can bring it to the Q&A session. We will be giving you instructions at Q&A time about how to step forward and ask a question. Deep breath and let it out. My high business mentor recommendation is also that you release the 21st century tendency to multitask. How you choose to show up for this class is your demonstration to yourself, the universe, about how you are choosing to show up for your business, your life, your calling. Make that choice clearly right now. If your choice is to be here, then I also ask for your permission to allow me to lead during our time together today. And I ask you to write that down. Let's take a deep breath in and let it out. And now take a free hand and tap on your heart 3 times. Tap on your third eye, the center between both of your physical eyes 3 times. Tap on the top of your head 3 times. And then pull on a free ear, one that's not occupied by the phone, allowing your heart to open, allowing your intuition to be active, allowing for your connection to the divine to be present, and allowing you to hear exactly what you're meant to hear on this teleclass and to receive exactly what you are meant to receive. Deep breath, and let it out. Now, you are on this call for one of 3 reasons. Be sure to mark and write down which reason applies to you. HSE reason number 1. You're a highly sensitive person who feels the call to be self-employed, but you have no idea what to offer as a business, and you recognize it's important you receive aligned support sooner rather than later so that your highly sensitive entrepreneur journey can be a financial success from the get-go. HSE reason number 2. You're a highly sensitive person who already has a business, and you've tried just about everything to get this business to work for you, but the courses you've taken and the coaches you've hired weren't designed to support your highly sensitive nature, so they didn't work so well, leaving you frustrated and doubting your abilities to make this business thing work. Being on this teleclass is your last-ditch effort, since you keep hearing the call to serve through your business, even though most times you kind of wish it would just shut up and go away. HSE reason number 3. You're already a highly successful business owner, generating 6 to 7 figures, who's recently discovered you're highly sensitive and now realize why all of your efforts, though successful, have felt disjointed, not fully satisfying, far from peaceful, and you've had secret moments of even wanting to kind of just give it all up, wish everyone would leave you alone so that you could run away to a beach, to the mountains, with your journal and a nice cup of tea. You want to continue your success, but you recognize you must learn to do it differently in a way that matches who you genuinely are deep down in your core, what I call your HSE essential self. And honestly, you might even need a bit of rediscovery about who that genuine HSE essential self really is. So which one are you? HSE reason number 1, 2, or 3. Whatever it might be for you, I am so glad that you are here. Not only are you in the right place, you are in the only place dedicated and designed to serve those of us who are highly sensitive and called to be self-employed. Write that down, the only place. I have personally somewhat experienced all 3 of these reasons. I've been self-employed for 15 years. When I started my first business as a nutrition and wellness coach, I didn't know I was highly sensitive. I wish I had known, and that there had been support like I now offer in all of the Business Miracles mentoring programs for HSEs, because I felt so much confusion. Confusion about what I was doing, confusion about the way I was meant to be doing it. Everything would have been different. That is my version of HSE reason number 1. I did build my first practice to full capacity in 9 months' time, and I brought my business across the $1 million mark for the first time 5 years later. And when I did, I was absolutely miserable. It was a dark night of the soul. I was overwhelmed, I was overworked, and massively overexhausted. And in this dark night, I questioned everything. What was wrong with me? Why wasn't this coaching thing working for me? Why does it seem so much easier for everyone else? Do I really want this to be my life? Is this what it takes to be successfully self-employed? That was my version of HSE reason number 2. And this dark time of self-inquiry led me to Dr. Elaine Aron, who is the founding researcher of the highly sensitive person, When I learned about Dr. Aaron and when I learned the term highly sensitive for the first time, I wasn't so surprised to find out that I was highly sensitive, but I was surprised to find out how highly sensitive I was. I was off the charts highly sensitive. And in Foundational Principle Training number 2 that I teach in the Business Miracles 6-month mentoring program, I teach that your ideal client is a version of you. Write that down. So, knowing this in my heart, I brought one of Dr. Aaron's assessments to an in-person meeting of a group of 25 women entrepreneurs I was coaching at the time. And based on Foundational Principle Training number 2, no surprise there, every woman in the room was highly sensitive. What was a surprise is that not one woman in that room wanted to be highly sensitive. They saw it as weak, they saw it as a detriment, and they saw it as a negative label. And it was that moment that was a culmination of my version of HSE reason number 3. My dark night of the soul was not because of the amount of money I had generated in my business, and I really want you to get that, but because of the way that I had gone about it. And I really, really want you to get that. Write that down. So it's that moment in that room with 25 women entrepreneurs who were highly sensitive and didn't want to be that the HSE movement was born. Now, at this time, no one else was talking about this. No one. Not on the internet or anywhere else for that matter. And I was even told not to use the words highly sensitive in my marketing because either no one would get it or people would be repelled by it. Yet I knew this was my mission. And since that day, I have continued to create my own great body of work based on research that pulls from psychology, sociology, neuroscience, spirituality, coaching techniques, and more in order to continuously serve the evolution and growth of the highly sensitive entrepreneur members of the Business Miracles community. Every tool and teaching I develop, design, train, and mentor on is about what we need in order to be successfully self-employed and to create solid, sustainable HSE financial success. This is not a quick fix or a paint-by-numbers formula. Write that down. And it's not even only information-based. The work we do in Business Miracles is what I refer to as the real work. It is an inner and outer approach because that's what's needed. A full retraining about how you see and manage yourself, your business, and overall what it means to be in business as a highly sensitive entrepreneur. It's where the name Business Miracles was born from. I was introduced to the psychological and spiritual curriculum of A Course in Miracles after my mother died in a bicycle accident when I was 14 years old. According to A Course in Miracles, the definition of a miracle is a shift in perception, and I want you to write that down. And that's what's needed. That's what's needed for us highly sensitive entrepreneurs. We must be willing to do it differently. So let's get clear. What does being a highly sensitive entrepreneur actually mean? First, nothing is wrong with you. Write that down. Next, your nervous system is simply wired differently. You were born this way. This is not something that your parents did to you. It's not something you picked up on the playground, and it's not even because of that weird drink you had during a college party. According to Dr. Aaron, 20% of the global population is born into the world highly sensitive. And through my research, I've identified what I refer to as the top 12 HSE shadows and the top 12 HSE strengths. This is what differentiates us from those who are not highly sensitive. Your nervous system is wired to interpret stimulation, which includes information, at a much higher level and degree than for someone who is not highly sensitive. The thing is that most of us have unconsciously learned to operate from our shadows rather than our strengths. And I want you to write that down. Now, why? Why would we do this? Self-preservation. We were not taught otherwise. Out of the 12 top HSE shadows, I've identified the top 3 for highly sensitive entrepreneurs. Number 1 is the HSE shadow of overwhelm, which means to be overpowered by thoughts, feelings, or energies. HSE shadow number 2, overprotection, which means to protect someone or something more than is necessary or reasonable. HSE shadow number 3, over-responsibility, to respond to something or someone too strongly. These shadows tend to directly trigger us into what I've also identified through my research as our HSE coping mechanisms. Coping mechanism number 1, pushing. As a pusher, you'll get done what the other 80% non-highly sensitives will get done, but it will come at a very high cost, often in the form of a health or relationship crisis. I am a recovering pusher. That was my experience when I first brought my business across the $1 million mark. Coping mechanism number 2, hiding. As a hider, you are an expert at finding anything and everything to do, typically as a martyr for others, than what is needed to move your business forward. Most likely you have a beautiful website, materials, programs, yet no one is buying. Money is not being generated. At the end of the day, you've been really busy, but not in business. Coping mechanism number 3, combo plattering. As a combo platter, you jump back and forth between hiding and pushing and hiding and pushing. And this is my definition of HSE insanity. A lot of effort is being exerted, but you're not going very far, if anywhere at all. All 3 coping mechanisms are part of what I have developed as the HSE coping cycle. Now, all of this is an attempt to cope with the anxiety of being highly sensitive in a world that is not designed for us. Write that down. And what is a major anxiety producer? Being self-employed. Write that down. You must move beyond coping into learning how to manage your energy as a highly sensitive entrepreneur, which gives you access to your HSE strengths. Which is why the foundational principle training number 1, Transform Fear into Financial Freedom, in the Business Miracles 6-month mentoring program is so imperative. It's where I teach you how to manage your energy consistently as a highly sensitive entrepreneur so that your experience is no longer that the world is happening to you, or, as one of our 6-month members recently said, that you're a walking raw nerve in the world, but instead you learn how to proactively create everything in your day, your business, your life. This is you learning how to access and use one of your top HSE strengths, creativity. Write that down. We are a very creative bunch, us HSEs. We are also intuitive, empathic, as well as deep thinkers, feelers, and listeners. These are HSE strengths or amazing superpowers that are available to support you in your business when you learn how to access and use them, which is everything that the great body of work I've created and continue to create is designed to teach you, starting with the foundational principles in the Business Miracles 6-month mentoring program. But again, you must be willing to do it differently. This is your holy grail as an HSE, which is why as HSEs, it's not so much about what you do, but the way you do it. Write that down. And why the worldwide HSEs I've mentored have included dentists, real estate brokers, coaches of all kinds, education specialists, therapists, skincare product creators, musicians, dancers, accountants, corporate strategists, massage therapists, acupuncturists, insurance brokers, copywriters, ghostwriters, animal healers, essential oil distributors, math tutors, professional organizers, equine experts, energy healers, writers, yoga studio owners, videographers, jewelry designers, professional speakers, naturopaths, architects, environmental engineers, photo organizers, interior designers, personal stylists, personal trainers, web designers, Reiki practitioners, multimedia artists, channelers, clothing designers, opera singers, and I'm sure there's more. If you know you're meant to be among them, then I invite you to go to www.acourseinbusinessmiracles.com, where you'll find a special 48-hour only $1,000 tuition savings as my way of honoring your being a part of this class, and a special bonus live video training with me for the first 15 to enroll as part of this special open enrollment period. Now, here's what I want you to really get as a highly sensitive entrepreneur. Whether you're HSE reason 1, 2, or 3, and I want you to write these down, what I'm about to say. So whether you're HSE reason 1, 2, or 3, A, no matter what your business is called, you're providing a service of healing, whether you're aware of it or not. B, you must structure the marketing, selling, and operations of your business to match your highly sensitive nature, and it's going to look a lot different than the other 80%. C, this takes courage. Deep breath, and let it out. And this is why I've designed all the Business Miracles mentoring programs, starting with a 6-month mentoring program, to include 3 key elements that are necessary in the retraining and transformational process that we must undergo as highly sensitive entrepreneurs. And I want you to write these 3 key elements down. Transformation key element number 1, community. Now, that might sound crazy. You most likely have spent a lot of time avoiding groups. However, community is very different when it's comprised of all HSEs. And the community has consciously been designed specifically for HSEs. For example, the virtual digital elements of the Business Miracles mentoring programs have all been designed to support what I have developed and called the practice of V and V energy, visibility and vulnerability, the willingness to be seen for who you really are. I'm going to repeat this because I want you to write this down. The practice of V and V energy, visibility and vulnerability, the willingness to be seen for who you really are. Now, the elements that I've designed in the mentoring programs to support this V and V energy include training recordings, weekly community calls, and forum systems that are all designed to create a safe space. The V and V energy is a theme that runs throughout the foundational principle trainings that I have developed and share in the Business Miracles 6-month mentoring program. For example, foundational principle training number 1, transform fear into financial freedom, as well as foundational principle training number 3, understand the miracle of marketing and selling. Now, whenever I think about foundational principle number 3, I always think about Business Miracles community member Brianna. When Brianna came into the 6-month program, she was already a 7-figure corporate strategist and business owner. And she was that frayed, walking, exposed, raw nerve. She was very guarded, defended, and she was working like crazy to keep up with her competition. Through her study and training of the foundational principles and the Business Miracles teaching, she claimed her marketing space as a bold spiritual leader. She's now sought after for speaking, including a tour throughout Europe in this past year, and she met her Thrive income goal. As I share in one of my teachings, the difference between dire, Thrive, and visionary income goals. She met her Thrive income goal in 2018 and has already booked 75% of her 2018 income in this new year of 2019. Take a moment to take that in. But what's really incredible is that when I look at her, she is not the same HSE. When I look at her, it is like looking at an angel. She is bright, shining, centered. There's a calm confidence that exudes from her. Beautiful. And I know that this is just the beginning for her, and there is so much more to come. This transformation element of community and V&V also threads throughout Foundational Principle Training number 10 and number 11, which is about increasing your income, parts 1 and 2, offline and online marketing, as well as Foundational Principle 12, writing miraculous marketing copy, and Foundational Principle Training 13, magnifying your marketing mindset. We practice V&V as it relates to all aspects of our business as HSEs, inner and outer. And as I always say, we practice V&V in here, in community, so we can go be it out there in our businesses, in the external world, just like Brianna. The Business Miracles coach team is also a key component of the ongoing activation of this powerful transformation element number 1 of community. The Business Miracles coach team is constantly receiving ongoing training from myself and turning around and immediately paying it forward to our entire Business Miracles community of HSEs. The coach team is constantly available to you for ongoing support. Hiders can't hide. Pushers are graciously called out when pushing, and combo platters are continuously provided the opportunity to experience balance. You see this at work every day in the 6-month mentoring program, specifically on our forum, but especially during a very special virtual event that we hold twice a year, New Year's and mid-years, that's called Get It Done Day. This is when we come together as a virtual community for an entire day. I share brand new teachings, and the coach team supports in real time throughout the day on our forum. We just experienced New Year Get It Done Day as a Business Miracles community. And all I've been hearing from members since New Year Get It Done Day, which was last week, is how they feel inspired, charged up, and ready to re-enter into a new year with everything that's needed for themselves as highly sensitive entrepreneurs. And during these Get It Done days, we get things done. We get things done in our businesses as HSEs that never would be possible for each of us on our own. And you for sure see and experience the power of Transformation Element number 1 community during our in-person training retreats that happen in spring and fall. This is the 6-month Foundational Principle Training Anchor. And HSEs travel from all around the world, France, the United Kingdom, Germany, Hawaii, Iceland, Africa, Denmark, Netherlands, Spain, France, Canada, all across the United States, just to name some. And our spring 2019 training retreat will include our first member from the Middle East. Why? Because nothing like this is happening anywhere else, and I want you to write that down. You must be a part of the Business Miracles mentoring programs to attend a Business Miracles training retreat. I get asked all the time if someone can just drop in, and the answer is always no. There's no event ticket price that would gain you access. Also, this level of training must take place in person. Just the act of getting there as HSEs creates transformation, which always makes me think of Maureen. Now, Maureen, as a Business Miracles community member, when it first came to training retreats, experienced such travel drama. First of all, she refused to attend. Then when she did choose to attend a training retreat, she had such difficulty. And when she finally got herself there, it was amazing to witness the on-the-spot transformation that occurred for her. I literally watched her release years, decades of overprotection. Now, not only does she travel to training retreats with ease and grace, but she's a member of the Business Miracles coach team. So she is at training retreats longer than any other community member, and she thrives. She is such a valued support of the Business Miracles community. She is an expert coach who is finally able to use her HSE strengths because of her willingness to overcome her fear and resistance as demonstrated through her attendance at training retreats. Again, similar to Brianna, you would not recognize her. Years have faded from her face, weight has dropped from her body, and her business bank account has blossomed. The experiential work we do together at a training retreat creates a gentle transformation. HSEs into a new empowered normal, and I want you to write that down. At a Business Miracles training retreat, there's no loud music, no cold basement ballrooms, no being forced to dance and high-five or get up at the crack of dawn and stay awake until the midnight hours and then left untethered after the event to try to put yourself back together. That's not evolution, that's entertainment. For some, or torture for others, like us HSEs. Business Miracles training retreats are so powerful for the work that takes place while we are there together and the container of community and mentoring support that continues when you get back home. And each training retreat is where I reveal the next level of teachings I've developed for our community of HSEs. The spring 2019 training retreat will be on the topic of shifting your shame shields into open financial flow, which comes out of a study from the Stone Institute at Wellesley College. A Business Miracles training retreat is a transformational must, and I want you to write that down. Which leads us to transformation key element number 2, core practice. Write that down. Shifting HSE shadows and coping mechanisms into strength and creativity takes diligence. Community and coach team will hold you accountable. However, this is about developing practices that are geared toward keeping your business moving forward and you connected to your HSE strengths, rather than reacting from your shadows to the energy that's constantly coming at you as a person who is self-employed. And intellectual understanding is not enough. Write that down. Again, this is about learning to do it differently. The foundational principle trainings that I've created that support developing core practices. Again, foundational principle training, number 1, transform fear into financial freedom. It's a constant must. Foundational principle training, number 2, become friends with time. This is about how to relate to time and business actions differently from your own circadian rhythm and the belief that this can be done and is possible. And when it comes to becoming friends with time, it always makes me think of Katie. Now, Katie is a Business Miracles community member and a very successful therapist. And when she started her Business Miracles journey, an overbooked schedule successful therapist with little net money to show for it. Instead, what she had to show for her overbooked successful therapist schedule was a shot adrenal system and a consistent clinging to the fear that if she wasn't working all the time, over giving to her clients, that it would all go away and all fall apart. And what's been so beautiful is to watch Katie make a business model shift, to claim her own method of the way that she works and serves, and being able to charge more because of her willingness to make this claim. And the lightness that I saw on her face at the fall 2018 training retreat practically cracked my heart open. She is on her way to both spiritual and financial freedom. And you can see so many more HSE success stories at www.acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. Now, the foundational principle trainings that also emphasize transformation element number 2, core practice, FPT number 4, use your uniqueness to attract clients instantly. That's Katie's story. Foundational principle training number 5, activate your ideal client attraction plan. Number 6, shift from selling to serving. And number 7, set up your HSE selling success system. Now, all of these foundational principle trainings are absolutely important because, again, whether you're HSE reason number 1, you're just starting out, reason number 2, this is your last-ditch effort, or reason number 3, you've been successfully self-employed for years and have just discovered your highly sensitive nature, whether 1, 2, or 3, approaching all of these aspects of client attraction differently is a must as a highly sensitive entrepreneur, which is what these foundational principle trainings teach you. But the last 2 foundational principle trainings, 6 and 7, shift from selling to serving, and setting up your HSE selling success system are super, uber important. And write that down. Whether you've never sold a thing in your life or you've been selling for years, an approach that is designed to use our HSE strengths, intuition, deep listening, deep feeling, as Dr. Aaron says, the royal advisor we've been brought here to fill. All of this becomes a whole lot easier and fun. The pushy, fear-based approach is so of the other 80%, and it is so last century. Write that down. There is another way. This is such a crux to the entire HSE journey that in addition to the 13 foundational principle trainings and all the real-time coach team support aspects of the Business Miracles 6-month mentoring program, you also receive a full 4-part video training where I model for you and intricately break down how to have a selling conversation step by step. And again, you can see all of that at acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. And I've also added a live bonus video training class directly with me for the first 15 to enroll in the 6-month mentoring program from this teleclass. Foundational Principle Training 6 and 7 are that important. So again, that's at acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. Now let me quickly say we are only able to open 25 spots in total at this time in the 6-month mentoring program. And again, the first 15 also receive that additional live video training with me on the HSE Selling Success System. Oh, and you'll receive a $1,000 tuition savings for the next 48 hours to honor your participation in this class. That is super important too, of course. acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. But I can't really talk about the HSE Selling Success System without talking about Kay. Now, when I first met Kay, we met at a small in-person masterclass that I was teaching, and she came up to me after the class in tears, actually downright sobs. Now, Kay is a grown, mature, talented, previously successful career as an institutional dietitian, and at that time when I had met Kay, she had tried everything to make being self-employed successful for her. She had invested thousands of dollars, had experienced many coaches and programs. Now, Kay takes every opportunity she gets to train with me on the HSE Selling Success System. She recognizes that it is a process of mastery. And not only does Kay have a full, thriving practice, but she was able to take a 3-week trip to East Asia with her husband this past summer, and Kay looks 10 years younger, bright, shiny, bubbly. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Which leads us to transformation key element number 3, consistency. Write that down. Now, this is an area we tend to really struggle with as highly sensitive entrepreneurs. Oh, sure, the pushers will make it happen at a cost, and the hiders will be martyred for helping everyone without generating any income, and the combo platters will drive themselves insane. Gas break, gas break, gas break, going nowhere. This is all about when our HSE visionary strength works against us. We're able to see the big picture as HSEs for others, for ourselves, but then being able to break it down into step-by-step, doable for you step-by-steps can be very, very challenging. But when you are willing to break it down into that step-by-step, it is a direct path for creating HSE financial success. And I want you to write that down. Transformation element number 3, consistency, is really about, again, foundational principle training number 1, transform fear into financial freedom. You must learn how to manage your fears, worries, doubts consistently. So you are creating each business day proactively rather than reactively. And I want you to write that down. Foundational principle training number 8, choose magnitude over littleness. You must learn to choose over and over and over again your power as a person who is highly sensitive rather than your quote-unquote weakness. Now, no one else will or can do that for you. That is for sure. Others who are not in the Business Miracles community will be quick to tell you you're weird, you're wrong, your way will never work. Not true. Different? Yes. Wrong or ineffective? No. Foundational principle number 9, design a magnetic marketing map. And then your marketing must be set for consistency. The more supportive systems you have to keep you on a focused track, the better. Then your HSE strength of creativity can be channeled to work for you rather than against you, as well as your HSE strengths of intuition and being spiritual by nature. Again, the Get It Done Day part of the program really supports this. Now, you can see all the foundational principle trainings and program elements I've just mentioned in more detail, as well as to again enroll and claim one of the open 25 spots and to be one of the first 15 so you can receive that additional live training with me and the $1,000 tuition savings. And that's all at acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. Now, before I open up for Q&A, which I sense is going to be quite a powerful exchange, let me just share some important final notes with you. Important final note number 1. Success is meant to look different for each highly sensitive entrepreneur, and I want you to write that down. For some HSEs, a client load of 3 or 4 clients is their calling. For others, it's many more. And for some, it's a variety of projects, corporations, or organizations, or a certain number of original music tracks created and sold. Same with income. Whether your version of solid, sustainable HSE financial success is $20K per year, $200K per year, or $2 million, there is no shame, no judgment in the Business Miracles community. What there is a dedicated mentor, coach team, community, trainings, and teachings dedicated to you discovering and developing what your HSE path is meant to look like so that you have a consistent, grounded experience of empowerment, peace, and prosperity, not only in your business, but your entire lifetime. Write that down. Final important note number 2, who the Business Miracles 6-month mentoring program is not for. This is not for you if, 1, you're not highly sensitive, 2, you're committed to remaining a victim to your highly sensitive nature. Now, I'll tell you, there are many groups on Facebook and posts on Instagram that will support you in staying in your shadows and enabling you with how to barely get by each day with just some soothing techniques. You can find them at #empathproblems. The ACIBM, the Business Miracles community, is not that place. We are about support, strength, and empowerment for each HSE. And again, we have multiple systems in place as a coach team to ensure that every single member in the Business Miracles community, that you are held accountable to this path of transformation, to true transformation. This is also not for you if, 3, you want others to enable you or do the work for you. 4, you're looking for a community where you can poach clients. 5, you're not ready or willing to do the real work, but instead are still committed to the fantasy, the online fantasy of a quick fix formula. Deep breath and let it out. Now, the Business Miracles 6-month mentoring program is for you if you are highly sensitive. You are HSE reason 1, 2, or 3. You have a high level of commitment to your business success and follow-through. You have a high level of personal, energetic responsibility and are committed to bringing your calling as a highly sensitive entrepreneur into the world. You both understand and value high-level mentoring along with the power of a like-minded community, and you're willing to be held accountable. Deep breath and let it out. Final important note number 3, according to Daniel Pink, researcher and author of the book A Whole New Mind, we are moving from an economy and a society built on the logical, linear, computer-like capabilities of the information age to an economy and a society built on the inventive, empathic, visionary capabilities of what's rising in its place, the conceptual age. Leadership is about empathy. It is about having the ability to relate and connect with people for the purpose of inspiring and empowering their lives. The time of the highly sensitive entrepreneur is now. But being highly sensitive is not enough. You must learn how to use your HSE strengths to be the new conceptual age leaders that the world is needing, crying out for. Allow yourself to be supported. Allow yourself to change for the better. Allow yourself to be set free. A Course in Business Miracles.com. $1,000 savings, 25 open spots, 15 special bonus seats, 6 months, 1 golden HSE opportunity. Deep breath in and let it out. Final important note, my own commitment. As I said, I've been self-employed for 15 years now and on the path of being a highly sensitive entrepreneur for almost 10 years now. Yet it is this year, the year of 2019, that I take this path further, deeper, and wider. I shared with the Business Miracles members at our Fall 2018 training retreat, and I now share it publicly with you. My personal mantra is, how differently can I do it? And I'll be taking this even deeper into my own business, but most importantly, what I am here to teach and train on with other HSEs, with you. The time of the proven internet one-for-all formula is over. Write that down. And by the way, it never worked for us HSEs anyway. The time of empathic leadership is here. I so deeply look forward to beginning our mentoring relationship and to seeing you learn how to step into your strengths as a highly sensitive entrepreneur. What is meant to be your HSE essential self way. Deep breath and let it out. Beautiful. And with that, I'm going to call on our Business Miracles operator for today, who is our Business Miracles curator, as well as one of our Business Miracles coach team members, and who has personally been mentoring with me for almost 10 years now, Miss Lorna Lang. Lorna, would you please step forward and support us with how those who are listening can step forward and ask a question on our live Q&A for today?
Of course. Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here with you today. To step forward to ask a question, and go ahead and write this down. If you're listening in via phone, please dial *2 to raise your hand. If you're listening in via web call, please click the hand symbol. To ask a question via the web, please ensure that you're using Google Chrome so we can see you have raised your hand to ask a question. If you're using Safari, you will not be able to raise your hand. And then when Heather calls on you, and write this down too, please let us know these things: your name, where you are calling from, and whether you are HSE reason 1, 2, or 3. All right, that's it, Heather. Back to you.
Okay, awesome, beautiful. So again, *2, and when you step forward, please just share your name, where you're calling in from, and if you are HSE reason 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to call out the name that the system gives, and if you're calling in from somebody else's phone, then it might come up as, somebody else's name. So I'll do the best to be able to identify. I might call on maybe the number that you're calling in from if needed. And let me also say there is no question that is too small, too large, too wild, too unwieldy. We are here as a community of highly sensitive entrepreneurs, and I so look forward to answering your questions, serving, supporting you. No right, no wrong, no judgment. Beautiful. Let's all take a deep breath in and let it out. Beautiful. I'm going to call on who I believe is Denna. Is that how you say your name? D-E-N-N-A. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Yes, this is Denna. I'm calling from North Idaho, and I'm an HSE number 1.
Got it. Welcome. So glad you're here. How can I support today?
Me too. It's very clear that being an HSE in the professional world brings its own set of fears, anxieties, and worries. And I totally can see how just having a self-practice, training yourself to, step back from those fears, challenge those fears and anxieties, and get to the core of your being. I'm wondering what kind of references or resources are at the top of your list to make sure that, each day we are following up on, our job to do to be responsible as a highly sensitive person practicing that centeredness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful question. So honestly, that really speaks to foundational principle training number 1 and foundational principle training number 2. So the foundational principle trainings, as I mentioned, I teach in the 6-month mentoring program, but honestly, these are teachings, trainings, tools that you are meant to return to over and over and over and over again as your lifetime, throughout your lifetime as an HSE. But that 1 and 2 are so significant because foundational principle training number 1 is all about the inner. That's the energy management that I mentioned. So I teach in foundational principle training number 1 tangible tools that you can use, want to use on a daily basis to manage your energy. So many of the teachings out there for highly sensitives are about soothing yourself after the onslaught of the external world. Energies have taken over your system. What I teach is these energy management tools that you go to first. You go to at the start of your day. You go to before any, small or large business decision, business action. So you then put yourself in a place of the power of those HSE strengths that I've mentioned. So there are members, HSEs, who have been in the Business Miracles community 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Energy management is a constant that you will hear in communication and conversation. A must, a must, a must. Foundational principle training number 2 is all about the outer, becoming friends with time. So I teach a way to begin to relate with time differently, so that, again, you are tapping into your own circadian rhythm and designing your business day to match that circadian rhythm so that you can be your most productive self while also being most peaceful self. So I teach tools like I refer to as the 1/3 rule, which is about dividing your time into these thirds so that you can literally relate with the time within those thirds differently. I teach the 30-day plan so that we're chunking things down into those doable steps that I talked about earlier. And honestly, it really is those foundational principle trainings. And again, I named them foundational principles on purpose because it gives you that foundation to start each day as that centered self that you mentioned, as well as they are a foundation that, again, is intended for you to return to consistently throughout your entire HSE lifetime. Make sense?
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell me what you're hearing there, Dana.
Well, I'm hearing that energy management is as necessary as I thought. I'm also hearing that it's very common, and I'm not alone in that.
No, not at all. And again, the energy management that I've designed and teach, they are tangible tools so that it's something you can really grab onto. So things like, say, meditation, right, or bath therapy or essential oils are all valuable, absolutely, but they are not tangible energy management that puts your thinking and your energy in an aligned space before the day, before the action, and that's what's so important. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Beautiful. You're so welcome. Let's all take a deep breath in and let it out. And so what Dana really brought forward for all of us is, again, how important it is to be proactive as an HSE. Reactive falls into that category of soothing, like I mentioned. And yes, that is important, but soothing is honestly part of the HSE coping cycle, where we find ourselves flooded. We find ourselves in those HSE shadows. We find ourselves in our coping mechanism, and then we get ourselves out until we're triggered by the outer world, and then we're right back in it. What we want to do is we want to be able to stop the cycle, and that is the power of foundational principle training 1 and 2. All of them, but really 1 and 2. Okay? Beautiful. From there, let's go to, I believe it's Lisa. Lisa calling in on the web. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
I live in Ohio, and I would say I'm a combo platter.
Okay. And are you HSE reason 1, 2, or 3? Just starting out, last-ditch effort, highly successful, just discovered you're highly sensitive.
I would say I'm just starting out.
Okay, great. How can I support today?
Well, I'm coming to a close of a year-long class. I've been a nurse for 33 years, and I've always felt a calling to do some kind of healing work. I recently left my job 6 weeks ago, and I'm a Reiki master. I've been doing some Reiki sessions, but I'm just kind of struggling about, I really identify with a lot of the highly sensitive and the time management. I have this time now, and some days it's great, and other days I'm terrified. And I think, why did I leave my job? And it's just kind of, so I guess I've been reading your emails, and I joined your Facebook group. I've been paying attention to you for probably 6 months or so, because I've done the Course in Miracles several times and followed Marianne Williamson. So I guess I'm just kind of scared because I just am finishing this class, but it sounds really good, and I'm kind of wanting to, I just feel like I want the support to make, I'm kind of rambling.
Not really. So I'm so glad that you stepped forward. I'm so glad that you are here. And, I'll honestly share with you, what I'm hearing is I'm hearing when you've been in such a structured job as a nurse for 33 years, and then suddenly you're not. And I can really relate to that because, first and foremost, everything that I have developed in the Business Miracles mentoring programs comes from my own experience, including that my career before I stepped into being self-employed was as a high school teacher. And as a high school teacher, anyone who either has been in high school or has kids who are in high school can probably remember or know that it is a very structured system, right? You have a bell ringing every 42 minutes telling you where to go. You have a curriculum telling you exactly what to teach. And so when I started my business, I was terrified. And I have used that word that you use, that exact word, terrified, so many times. And honestly, that is where Foundational Principle Training #1 and those tools came from. They came out of my experience with A Course in Miracles, and they came out of my desperate experience to keep myself in a grounded, non-hyperventilating, freaking out, terrified space when I first started my business. And so, like I had shared earlier in the class, I wish I had had something like the Business Miracles community when I first started out. It would have changed so much. So what I've, again, designed and developed doesn't just come from like, oh, I think this would be a nice idea. It comes from tried, true, on the ground, real experience place for myself. So honestly, you're in the divine right place. This is exactly where you are meant to be. I would really say to you, allow yourself to receive the support. You will be amazed. Like some of the stories I was sharing, you won't recognize yourself a year from now. And of course, there will be your ego mind, and I know that you know as a student of the course that when we say ego mind, we're talking fear-based mind. It will tell you, not possible, won't happen for you. You step into the community, you step into the teachings, you allow yourself to be supported, the transformation occurs.
That sounds good.
Tell me what that sigh is.
Tell me what that's about. Makes me want to cry a little bit. Just
tell me why. Tell me why.
Because it sounds like it couldn't be that way for me, you know?
Right.
But,
I know.
Yeah.
I know, because I've known it for myself, and I've heard those words from so many of the HSEs as they step into the Business Miracles community. It can't be for me. But you know why? Because we're so used to being the odd one out. We've spent our entire lives that way, literally trying to keep from other people, keep other people from knowing that we're highly sensitive. But that's not how it is here. And I know it doesn't sound like it could possibly be for real, but I just share with you from the deepest place in my heart, it is so for real. And it is my commitment, because this is what's needed. It's what's needed for us to succeed as highly sensitives, and like I said, so that we can be available to serve in the world as the royal advisors that we are here to be. It is real, and it can be for you, and it will be. So come join us.
Well, I think I'm really leaning towards it. I want to just talk to my husband. I think he'll be fine with it. But
absolutely,
yeah,
for sure. We have 48 hours that the tuition discount will be available, and we have 25 spots open. So talk to your husband and come join us.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Let's all take a deep breath in and let it out. And I know that Lisa is speaking for so many of us on the line today, right? The part of our mind that says, oh, I just don't believe it can be for me. I have so many stories, I don't have time to share them all, of HSE after HSE after HSE who started that way in the Business Miracles community and now can say, yes, 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 it is for me. Okay? So again, as I said to Lisa, 48 hours is the $1,000 tuition savings. We're opening up just 25 spots at this time. And again, the first 15 receive that special live video training with me. So we have a little bit more of an intimate class within the course, and of course in businessmiracles.com. Okay? From there, we're going to go to Catherine. Looks like Catherine calling in from Colorado. Hello.
Hi. Yes, this is actually, I go by Kate. This is Kate Celesti, and I'm in Lyons, Colorado, and I think I fall somewhere between 2 and 3.
Hey, good. Welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for this. This has been, really both heart and mind touching, and I really deeply appreciate the way that you honor HSEs and, really describe, who we are and what our strengths and challenges are. It just touches my heart as being an animal communicator and healer for over 25 years. I just feel a little stuck. And so this is just speaking to me in so many powerful ways. I have a kind of a practical question after that, and that is, I'm on the website, but I can't quite see where to join, sign up, ask questions. I've been sort of, where do I go to do that?
Yes. So when you go to A Course in businessmiracles.com, and you'll see the first page you'll see will be the 3 reasons, right? And then you scroll down from there a little bit, and then you should see buttons that you can click that will allow you to either pay in full with the discount or a payment plan with the discount. Do you see
Okay,
those?
I'm sorry, though, but I'm at businessmiracles.com, and it's got the video and then take the free quiz. So I'm not at the right place, huh?
That's right. It's A Course in businessmiracles.com.
The Course in Business Miracles. Thank you.
All right. Absolutely. So it's kind of a little bit of a secret page because it has the tuition discount for those of us who are part of this class. So A Course in businessmiracles.com.
Great. Thank you so much for that, and thank you. And I again, thank you for all you do, and I'm very heartened by you say that we're moving into the empathic leadership mode. That just warms my heart, and I know it's so
really
needed.
Are. And it is, and thank you so much for the kind words, but let me also say, that's not just me, that's Daniel Pink and his solid research. So I'm just here to say, yes, it is our time now, and also that I am just here to provide you with the how-to teachings to make that happen.
Thank you. I think I found it. The page for you. The page you're looking for no longer exists.
A Course, and so you know what? I'm going to call on our core team here.
Okay, thank you.
So you're so welcome. So if we can have Heather S. another Heather on our team from the core team and client care step forward and just support here and make sure that everything is working with the page, A Course in BusinessMiracles.com. Heather?
Hi, Heather. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So the website is www.acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. And I just checked the link again. Everything's coming up good. Are you still having an issue, or were you able to get into it?
I just got there, Heather. Thank you so, so much. Yep. Thank you.
Perfect. You're welcome.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for that support and look forward to having you with us, Kate.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Let's all take a deep breath in and let it out. Beautiful. So again, it's A Course in BusinessMiracles.com, and you'll find the $1,000 tuition savings and where you can enroll as you just scroll down on the page there. And if for any reason you're having any issues like Kate was experiencing, then also feel free to just give us an email, info@businessmiracles.com, and we will support you. But best if you can just go ahead and enroll because, again, we're just opening those 25 spots, and we do have that special 15 for the first to enroll, and we also have the $1,000 tuition savings for the next 48 hours. Okay? All right, great, beautiful. From there, we've got someone calling in from a cell phone. It looks like maybe from Ontario. Hello?
Oh, that might be me. Can you hear me, Heather?
Yes. Yes, welcome.
Okay, great. My name is Rebecca, and I'm calling from Ontario, close to Toronto. And I have been in contact with your group. Actually, I went to a workshop with Diane, one of your mentors. So it's been lovely just to kind of get to know her. So I'm dipping my toe into this. And the reason why the stop, think, before I go forward is really strong for me. The thing I'm struggling most with is where does a person, as a highly sensitive person, stop? And where do you identify as a highly sensitive person, perhaps with a mood disorder? So just to kind of give a little bit of background to that question, I really identify with Lisa. I've been in public health for many years and have just recently tried to switch gears into more of a creative venture that would combine my work in public health as well as my work in the arts. And I tried that, and it completely just was not working at all. And since then, I've experienced several crises, essentially, that landed me in the hospital. So now I'm struggling with seeing things like you need to do CBT and these really more soothing techniques that you talk about. And I'm coming back, I guess, trying to figure out what route to take because it's pretty overwhelming to figure out how to get healthy first. And then figure out how to do business in HSP.
Yes. Well, let me first say this. In Dr. Aaron's work, she is very clear to call out that as highly sensitives, we have most likely all experienced trauma to some degree. And that the elements of being highly sensitive will be heightened based on the trauma that we experienced.
Yeah.
So that is just naturally part of my work. It is where at the training retreats particularly, as I mentioned earlier, we have the opportunity to go deeper by being together in person. And where I bring my training to this particular aspect of community as highly sensitives who have also chosen to be self-employed. I say all of that to say that there really isn't a linear process, meaning that we heal from the trauma, and then we're ready to go into being in business as a highly sensitive. It is a constant, and therefore, again, it is woven throughout my teachings to acknowledge it, to learn how to deal with it, and to manage it. One of the things that I say all the time is that for those of us who are highly sensitive, who are called to be self-employed, we have the opportunity for our business. It is our business that is our portal for healing. And I would recommend that everyone write that down. Your business is here to help you heal. And I know that sounds counterintuitive because that is absolutely anti to the other 80%. But it is a natural integration for those of us who are highly sensitive. As you step forward into your business, as you step forward to learning how to be in business as a highly sensitive, you will experience deeper and deeper levels of healing for yourself. It is how it is meant to transpire. The myth, and I'm not saying that this is what you were saying at all, but the myth that so many HSEs are up against is that limiting belief. I have to be fully healed before I can turn around and offer healing to others. And that is not true. As I teach in the foundational principle trainings in the 6-month program, particularly foundational principle number 5, which is about activating your ideal client attraction plan, as I mentioned earlier in the class, your ideal client is a version of you. So one of the things that I always say is you're just a few steps ahead of them on the path. You're not meant to be all the way up as Moses on the mountain. You're a few steps ahead of them on the path. It's because of that shared path that you can offer the best service from your own experience and willingness to be in that V and V energy that I spoke about earlier. So now, with all of that said, then what it comes down to as a personal question for you is, do you desire to be self-employed? Because not every person who's highly sensitive is meant to be self-employed. Right. If you do desire to be self-employed, then I would say, yes, this is the place for you, and yes, allow the healing to occur through the work. Now, that isn't to say that Business Miracles is meant to be the be-all and only all, right? Yes, continue to work with any therapists that you might be working with, any healers that you might be working with for yourself. This will just be providing you the experience of healing through learning how to be in business as a person who's highly sensitive. Does this all make sense?
Yes. Yeah. And it's still, it's a lot of opportunities for where I could go next. And I definitely do see myself as an independent entrepreneur and have a general idea of what that might look like. And I think I do fall a little bit in that, I have to be 100%, well before I can even start business planning again. There's a little bit of nervousness around that, around my health team even.
Yeah.
To be
I'll tell you it will
thinking
never
about
happen.
business planning.
I'll tell you it will never happen. Right? The ego mind will say, again, you have to be fully well. It will never happen. It is a process. That's why I say it will never happen. Will you heal? Yes, of course. Will that healing continue to go to deeper levels? Yes, of course. But the waiting until this is in place first before I do this, that will never happen. Being an entrepreneur in general is organic. Learning how to allow it to be organic is part of being a highly sensitive entrepreneur. So, I would say to, sit with that. My invitation is to know that we are here for you, as a community and with teachings that are going to help you get clear as well as to help you to heal. because that's the other myth, right, that so many HSEs are up against, who if they feel the call to be self-employed, they're not really sure what they're meant to do, and they're like, oh, as soon as I figure it out, then I'll get the business training. Never happens. Or at least it will happen so much more easily and quickly to be in community. Because one of our HSE strengths is that we learn without realizing we're learning. That doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in aligned community. Okay? I'm going to let you sit with that.
Great,
Good for
thank
now?
you, Heather. Yep.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So welcome. So I'll take a deep breath in and let it out. I do recognize we are over the 30 minutes of Q&A, but I see a few more Q&As on the line. So I'm going to stay and invite you to stay here with me as we just wrap up these last remaining questions. So I see that we have someone calling in, it looks like from Washington, D.C., but I don't see a name. Number ending in 5072. Welcome.
Hi, this is Renee. And
Hi, Renee.
I am a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent over 20 years working in the corporate world and was laid off a couple of years ago and started a coaching business. And it's been quite a struggle because, one, I spent all that time working in a corporate environment and having to move to a different type of business to support myself. And so, as a new business owner, there's just a lot of things that you just don't know. So, of course, it was that initial struggle, but also the struggle of being an HSP. I was introduced to what an HSP was and realized that I was one probably about 10 years ago. And it helped a little bit because I felt like, okay, I'm not as weird and crazy as everybody's made me out to be all these years, but I really didn't know how to balance it. Although, with that creativity that we have, we figure out how to manage it so that it, doesn't take us completely down. So I've been doing a lot of that over the years. But as a business owner, what I have found is, there are all these business models and none of them are really designed for us. And so I've been trying to follow these other ones. They're just not working. I've had probably 3 different coaches that I've worked with, business coaches over the years. And while they're very good and their clients can be very successful, they just don't align with who I am. So, as time has gone on, I feel like I've spent a lot of money and I've gotten some things from them. So I won't say that it was a complete waste, but it hasn't taken me to the level and to the place where I want to go with my business. And so this is kind of like the year for me to just do it or go back and get a job, which I don't want to do because most corporate environments are also not aligned to who I am and how I work best.
Yeah.
And as a single mom, it's really challenging because, I've got one income in my family. So I'm very interested, and actually I did sign up. I know we weren't supposed to multitask, but I did anyway. And I did sign up while we were on the call, but I do have a couple of questions. When is the exact start date?
So you start right away. So you'll receive all of the information. And first of all, yay and welcome. And this is going to change everything for you. So it sounds very similar to like I was talking about Kay earlier, right? You are going to be amazed in terms of what shifts and changes and in regards to what has been mismatched in other places and the experience of it being aligned. Start right away. So you'll receive all of the welcome information over email, and then you'll also be receiving a welcome call from our team, and you will also be receiving support in accessing our online forum from our client care team, and you'll receive your foundational principle training number 1 that I just keep harping on, which is so important, and you will have access to your first core practice consistency call, which is our group community call. If you feel ambitious and want to dive right in, you'll be able to do that tomorrow. If you feel like you need to take a little time, then it will be waiting for you next Thursday because it happens every single Thursday as part of supporting that consistency. So you have begun We are here for you. We'll take it step by step, and yay, the transformation has begun. Welcome, welcome.
So the call on Thursday, that's at 1 p.m. Eastern, right?
That's right.
Or, okay. Oh, I have a client.
It's
so I'll
all
have to
good.
do it with next. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one last question. You talked a little bit about marketing, and so is the marketing that you help us with, is it online and offline?
That's right.
Or just one or the other?
Both. How to approach them differently and to choose which marketing avenues work best for you.
Okay. And is there any specific training on, like, maybe some of the offline things like social media or, okay.
Yes. It's all there.
Great. Perfect.
What a great decision you've made. I so look forward to getting to know you better and so look forward to meeting you in person at our upcoming training retreat and so look forward to witnessing your change.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to get going.
Okay, great. Yay. I'll see you and talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay.
Good. Let's all take a deep breath and let it out. Beautiful. I'm just going to keep us moving forward. So we have someone who looks like calling in from North Dakota, ending in 1702. Welcome.
Hello, this is Grace. Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome, Grace.
A couple of questions for you. One question was just answered. I think I'm between a more of a number 2. And so I'm curious because I like research. What's Dr. Aaron? How do you spell her last name?
Yes, it's Aron.
Okay. And her first name was?
Elaine.
Okay, I'm going to look her up. And then how is A Course in Miracles topics or information interwoven into the whole business model that you're presenting?
Yeah, it's a great question. So as I shared in the class, it's really the curriculum of A Course in Miracles is something that's been a part of my life for a long time since the loss of my mother, and that shift in perception as the definition of a miracle. So you will, every once in a while, I think you just use the word woven. It's probably a good phrase. It will, I'll just share my own experience with that teaching. So I would look at it as an umbrella, but not necessarily, a constant significant. And we have so many members of, different religious backgrounds, different spiritual beliefs. So we're really about more so being open and accepting. And I'm always emphasizing the law of adaptation. So like if you, hear me use a word or, for example, like when I might, as part of a teaching, invite each of us to call on, say, spirit or source, or I'll say use whatever language works for you, God, Buddha, universe, what have you. So again, it's a woven thread to keep us connected to that HSE strength of being spiritual by nature. It's an umbrella, but it's far from a dogma. The Course just isn't as itself, but it's just it's been a guiding light for me. It's really the emphasis on that definition of a shift in perception that you will hear most consistently. The reminder for each of us to be willing to do it differently, to look at things differently, to move beyond our limiting beliefs and the ways that we have judged ourselves, judged business, judged the world up until now.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, that's really helpful. A couple other logistics questions. So the total number of hours for the course, how would you sum that up?
Sure. So the foundational principle trainings, those recordings are released every other week. They run under 60 minutes. So you want to allot that amount of time for yourself, scheduling those trainings for a time that you are at your best learning level. And then we have the core practice consistency calls. Those are the group calls that happen every Thursday, and those are an hour. And then you have the monthly core practice consistency calls with myself. Those are 90 minutes, and those happen once a month. And then, honestly, it's really different for each of us in terms of the assignments. But I would say, that you're setting aside, at least an additional hour per week. So you can look at it, between, 2 to 3 hours per week, depending on whether it's a week of a training or, a week of working on some assignments. And I would recommend that you're making those CPC calls consistent for yourself. If you can't be there live, although that's always the best option because that's where you're stepping forward and asking questions, just like right now, at least you're setting aside time to be able to listen to them.
So the core practice calls, every Tuesday, 1 hour. Monthly calls are 90 minutes for 1 hour. One time a month, I mean.
That's right. That's right. And, of course, we have our training retreat, right, which will be taking place in May.
Right. And then did you say, Heather, that this program is 1 year or is it 6 months?
It's 6 months.
It's 6 months. Okay. One last question. In any of your past attendees, did you have any people working in the philanthropy space?
Yes, we have, but I need to ask in what regard are you speaking of specifically?
I'm in philanthropy advising.
Okay. So meaning, just so I'm clear, that you are advising others in terms of how to make philanthropic investment financially, energetically? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yes, we have had someone who's in a very similar position to yourself. And so, yes, and we've had advisors of all kinds as well.
And so we would have access to, or those people could be in the community depending on, how active they are. One never knows.
Yeah, they're not right now, I will tell you that, but myself and the team are, so fully equipped to support you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your willingness to answer my question. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, you too. You too. Beautiful. Let's all take a deep breath in and let it out. And just a couple more questions. We have someone calling in from Kentucky, it looks like, from 0884, last 4 digits. Welcome.
Hi, Heather. Thank you. My name is Kate, and I would definitely be a 1. I work full-time at a large law firm as a paralegal, and have been, over the course of the last year, really wanting to move forward with an essential oil company as a distributor. But I'm a perfectionist, and I have social media anxiety of, I think, being vulnerable and being visible. And I definitely collect all the information and try to get everything perfect before moving forward. It took me about 5 months just to come up with a Facebook group name. Mm-hmm. And I've been hesitant to add people to the group because I want to make sure that I'm showing up consistently before adding people. And so I'm frequently stuck. And I am wondering if this would be too soon. In typical Kate fashion, I'm wondering if this would be too soon for me or...
Yes. Not too soon. Not too soon at all. So let me first say not too soon to learn how to manage those HSE shadows, which a shadow is perfectionism, as you mentioned, and learning how to shift those into strengths. That's number 1. Really that energetic, that inner component of the foundational principle trainings, not too soon. I will also say not too soon, though you have a full-time job. We have lots of HSEs in the community who started with a full-time job. Actually, Karen comes to mind. She is one of the HSE success stories that I share, on the registration page, on the enrollment page at A Course in Business Miracles.com, who is a photo organizer. And she started her Business Miracles journey working full-time in corporate and now is full-time in her business. So from a practical perspective, it's not too soon because we can support you with a transition plan. And I would say anybody else who's on the line who can identify with Kate and being full-time, I would say write that down. It's very, very important and imperative as an HSE to, one, have the support, but two, to have a plan when it comes to transitioning from full-time to full-time position into full-time in your business. I don't recommend going cold turkey, and we will help you with that. We have gone through it ourselves, myself as a team. We've supported so many HSE members, and we can support you. So from both the inner and the outer, not too soon. Let me also say that social media is not the marketing that's meant to be for everyone. And I would say let's all write that down too. It's kind of touted as like the holy grail, and it does work sometimes for some people, but not for everyone, and not always specifically at the beginning. So honestly, as I'm listening to you, my intuitive sense is that is not the smartest place for you to be putting your energy. And so not only can we support you with stepping into that V&V, the visibility and vulnerability, as I mentioned in the class, but we can support you in finding the marketing that makes the most sense for you so that you are really supported in that transition and you're generating income from the essential oil distribution as you are also working full-time.
Awesome.
What do you hear?
Okay.
What I'm hearing.
Support, number one. Even earlier as you were speaking about the community, I think being able to be in community with other highly sensitive people would provide the opportunity for me to take some steps out of, I think, the anxiousness that I have of using my voice. Because I have a lot inside, but I get just anxious about bringing forth what is within. And also working on some of the trauma, even though I have done a lot of work on it, I find that when I move into communication, there's a lot of shadow aspects that come forward. And I would really like to peel that back because I'm not living my best life. I'm not showing up for as much as I want to and know that I can.
That's right.
And learning the marketing to be able to, I think it just goes back to support, having a team and some guidance on how to take some steps out of where I have been and move forward with what I'm envisioning.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So first of all, let me say this is a beautiful first step, you stepping forward and using your voice right here and now. So well
Thank you.
done. And what you're taking away is absolutely spot on, and you are far from the only one. You are not alone in this at all. And in addition to the support from the foundational principle trainings, you're going to find the spring 2019 training retreat on shame shields, very, very powerful in regards to everything that you just described.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yay.
When is that spring retreat?
It's all right on the website, A Course in Business Miracles.com. The dates are there, but I can tell you it's right at the beginning of May.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for your time, Heather.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in and let it out. And then we just have Jennifer from Orlando. Welcome.
Hey, Heather.
Hi.
So I am a number 2 for a long time. And I've actually been fighting to go back to work because of what everybody thinks I should do. But there's also a part of me that wants to like transition into doing something else as an entrepreneur and letting go of, my formal training, so to speak, and all my experience. So I'm kind of like ready for something brand new, but I'm also an entrepreneur. I've probably been an entrepreneur at heart for a very long time, but always been told I should be working. And I hear there's like a lot of shadows, and I'm just really, really interested in the program itself. And it sounds like it's a good fit for me. So, but I was just kind of interested on the perspective of, because as it is right now, I'm applying for some jobs. But the ironic part is the last 3 jobs I've been let go for other weird circumstances, like 3 in a row. So I'm like, okay, I need to listen to this, right?
Yeah, so glad you did. So it sounds like you are in the right place being here, and that you know that this is your calling, right? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that to, have a part-time job as you're learning how to step into really creating HSE financial success. Like, that might be something that will be very valuable for you. That is the case for some HSEs in the community. That's what I refer to as both and versus either or, and we will support you in how to be able to manage that. But what I hear most strongly is that you have this call, and that, even being let go from other positions keeps reinforcing this call, the calling that you're here to answer. And so I would say, let's get the support in place so that we can answer that call, stop the suffering, and just get it clear, grounded, focused once and for all.
Yeah, and so that is done through one-on-ones, or you feel like it's more of a community, or because I just came in, this is how strange you talk about up and down, but I saw the talk here today at 12 Eastern, and I've been looking for the email for like 20 minutes and couldn't find it and came in late, even though that I've been looking for it since 12. So this is kind of how it's been.
Well, it is definitely, I recommend starting with the foundational principle trainings, which is the 6-month mentoring program, which is a community experience. And again, you can see all of that at www.acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. But what I will say is that also one of the things that we make available is that you can add private call support with any member of the coach team or myself at any time, if that's something that you desire to do as a 6-month member. But really, it is learning those foundational principle trainings is really the beginning of really providing the perspective, again, both inner and outer, in regards to what's needed as an HSE. So that's really where I recommend that you start. And again, for the first 15, and I can see that we have just a couple of those first 15 spots left, you receive an additional, more intimate training with myself as well. So all forms of support are there for you.
Great. And one last question is, the tuition itself includes the seminar in Clearwater?
Yes. So you're responsible for your travel and you're responsible for your accommodations. We will be providing some meals for you, which are all HSE friendly, by the way. So you have to get yourself there and you have to secure your room and then take care of some of your meals. But other than that, it is absolutely included in the tuition. And if I can say so myself, it is such a massively in-depth training retreat experience. It is worth the tuition in itself. But it is included, yes.
Perfect. Well, it's not far from me right now, so that's great.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yay. So look forward to mentoring with you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome. We'll get this calling set and squared away once and for all. All right, beautiful. Let's all take a deep breath in and let it out. So again, acourseinbusinessmiracles.com, that $1,000 tuition savings is available for you for the next 48 hours to honor you and being part of this class, making this class a part of your new year. We are only opening 25 spots, so Those 25 spots are filled. They're filled. And for the first 15, you receive that additional video bonus training with myself, all on learning how to sell as a highly sensitive entrepreneur. Other than that, it has been and again, A Course in Business Miracles.com, www.acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. And other than that, it has been just an absolute honor to serve you, support you, connect with you within this new year energy. It is absolutely imperative that those of us who are highly sensitive entrepreneurs, that we receive aligned community support, that we learn those inner and outer core practices, and we learn how to master consistency so that we can truly, truly be at peace with ourselves in the world, be at peace with serving and fulfilling our purpose within the world, and peacefully receiving compensation for that service and the role of Royal Advisor that we are meant to fulfill in the world. I so look forward to mentoring with you. Again, you can find everything you need at acourseinbusinessmiracles.com. We are here for you. Other than that, many, many blessings for the rest of the day, the week, into the weekend, and until our next Business Miracles connection. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.